KXRO News Time is 8:44. Thank you for joining us this morning. Kyle Pauley here in the KXRO studio. Some events going on this weekend, and we've got some of the people behind them from Harper Books and Gifts. Greg Zschlomer. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Kyle.
And one of your guests this weekend at some of these events, author and illustrator April Bullard.
Bullard. Yes, good morning, Kyle.
Good morning to you. You have at Harper Books some big stuff going on this weekend with some presentations and some different meet and greet events. Why are you doing these things this weekend?
Well, number one reason is because we really want to bring books to children, and we do that every week. So being a bookstore is just part of what we do, but this weekend is special. This week, in fact, is Children's Book Week. It's the longest running celebration for books of young people. It just celebrates the joy of reading. It's in its 99th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, I was unaware. I probably was participating in this when I was a youth and just didn't know about it. It might have been when the book cards came around, or you get the extra points to read the books, or this may have been when book it was each year. But I know that I read quite a bit as a child. I didn't care if it was which week it was, but Children's Book Week is very important, I mean, to get children reading at a young age.
And that's one reason you're so smart, you know. Like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and all those people read 5 hours a week to make sure they read 5 hours a week. Mm-hmm. And that's part of their success. Children who read 20 minutes a day score in the 90th percentile. So
yeah, it's incredibly important to read and continue reading. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to sit down with a novel every night, but if you're reading reports online, just keep reading the news, keep reading whatever it may be, comic books or whatever, just to stimulate your mind. It's important. So you've got events today and tomorrow at Harper Books and Gifts. So wanted to jump over to April. You are the feature of today's event at Harper Books.
Yes, I'm the author of The Sock Thief, which is a fun little romp for kids about a girl who's helping with her chores in the laundry, and no lie because there I was, face to face with a startled sprite, half in and half out of the dryer, clutching my sock with all my might. Basically, she finds a little sticky-fingered elf.
Well, it has to be Gremlins. It couldn't be my fault why the socks go missing.
Well, growing up, there was always seemed to be socks missing when you did the laundry.
Growing up, it happens. Yesterday I was doing laundry and have a stack of socks that are missing. So what brought you to do the children's books?
Well, actually, The Sock Thief was inspired by a Facebook conversation, believe it or not. I was talking with my sister-in-law that car keys were missing and socks were missing and this was missing, and I said, well, there must be some little guy running around stealing these things. So I turned it into a story where the elf is actually helping you out. Whenever he steals something, it makes you stop, think a minute, or change direction, or do something a little different, and it ends up helping you out.
Oh, I see. Not to give away the end of the book, but it's not just you're going to be without socks forever. There's a turnaround in the end.
Well,
somewhat.
She finds when she's all done she is missing a sock, so it wasn't all a dream.
Is this your first book that you've done?
The Sock Thief is my first published book, self-published. I've had other short horror stories and poems published in different small press venues.
That's a big avenue switch from short horror stories into a children's book. I guess if you're dealing with a sprite or a little gremlin in the machine.
Well, if you look at the nursery rhymes and the fairy tales,
yeah,
they were not all yippee-skippy happy. I mean,
don't
what
think
kid
many
doesn't
of them
like?
were.
Yeah, what kid doesn't like finding the boogeyman? I mean, and most nursery rhymes were there as kind of scary tales to make sure the kid makes the right choice or does the right thing.
And so, what have you done before this? I see you brought some books with us today. You're an author and an illustrator, so
Yes, I illustrated I'm Samson, Said Sydney for Greg Zschlomer here. And I also did the Color Your Own Storybook series for Gwendolyn Bell, who is a young gal. She was 9 years old when she wrote her first story, and then asked me to do the illustrations for her.
Wow.
And we turned it into a Color Your Own Storybook.
Oh, that's fun.
Definitely jump in there that she is going to be at our event tomorrow. Gwendolyn is now 12 and written her fourth book, about one a year. So she's just about to put out the fourth one.
That's
Yeah.
that is impressive. That makes me look back at my youth and say, well, what was I doing with my time? If she's putting out 4 books by the age of 12, that's fantastic. You've got events again today and tomorrow. Let's talk about today first, April. What is happening today at Harper Books, and how can people be involved?
Oh, well, at 3:30, I'm going to be reading and performing The Sock Thief for everyone and signing books. And then from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I'm going to give kind of a demonstration and kind of help you develop characters and sketching and showing how I come up with characters and how I make them active and whatnot. Kind of a bit of an art lesson type thing.
What kind of age group are you looking for in that? Is this something that children could be involved in as well as adults?
Any age from 3 or 4 up to grown-ups.
If you can hold a crayon, you can draw.
Oh yeah, anytime. I was drawing next to my dad by the time I was 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And just never stopped.
That's fantastic. And did you do all the illustrations yourself for the book?
Yes.
And just looking at the cover and looking at some of the illustrations inside, they are fantastic. So it looks like it would be great on anybody's bookshelf for somebody, because I think everybody has that sock thief story. That
Everybody's gone missing something.
Exactly.
And also, with the book, inside I give a link to my webpage, and I have a list of hidden objects that I've hidden in the pictures.
Oh.
And it's all free downloadable PDF. So you can read the book and then go download the PDF and see if you can find all these things that I've hidden in the pictures.
Just an added little bonus after the fact to play with the kids.
Always.
That's great. You are part, again, of Children's Book Week at Harper Book and Gift. And coming up tomorrow, it is a packed house inside, as yourself is going to be joined by, like we mentioned, Gwendolyn Bell. And what else is going on at Harper Book?
Well, we'll have just the whole day of activities for kids to come out and color, make crafts, talk to writers about their books, hear stories read, get books signed. And we've got some really great people lined up too. They're all Pacific Northwest authors. We have Gene Bradbury from Squim, and he's written a number of children's books that are really wonderful. And then April, of course, and Gwendolyn, and Signe Copes from Portland, Oregon. She's written a wonderful girls book. And then I'll be there with a couple of my books for children. And there'll be refreshments and freebies given out. It's just, we really want to celebrate kids, and we have a great children's book selection to choose from, and we need to get them in there and see what's going on.
How much does it cost to be a part of this event?
It's absolutely free. No charge. Come on down.
Because once you learn to read, the world is open to you.
Mm-hmm.
You can step in, walk a mile in anybody else's shoes. You can see how things were invented, come up with, dreamed up, whatever. Anything from real machines and inventions and scientific discoveries all the way through impossible imaginary worlds. Just the key is learning to read. Once you can read, anything's possible.
Books open the door.
Yes.
I don't know if I ever mentioned it to you, Greg, but did I tell you that I am technically the author of an award-winning book?
Yay,
No,
congrats.
you're writing a book.
Well, my award-winning book happened when I was approximately 4 through Young Authors, through locally. That was one through the school, and I did a book, and I'm pretty sure it was about, I think it was a dog that solved crimes, if I remember correctly. One of those little small things, but getting started at that young age, just thinking about Gwendolyn, it reminded me of my time at young authors and then going to the conference and hearing from the authors at such a young age, that's kind of when things start. And so getting these kids in to see the authors and to meet yourself, April, and Gwendolyn, and see, oh, this is possible, this is obtainable for me, this is something I could do, is just fantastic.
It is really great. I mean, I know I started writing from an early age, and you did, and April, I'm sure, wrote, but she's illustrating from 2, she says, and she's very creative. She has she plays music. She's a performer. I don't know.
I didn't start writing really until I got older, but illustrating has always been a part of my life, and then stage performance and musical performance, and just recently I play electric bass with a band down in Vancouver, and we've hit a few bars and venues and things, so always dabble, always play, always discover.
Got it inside of you. You just got to find the ways to get it out.
Definitely.
So let's go over again, what time are things happening today and then tomorrow for Children's Book Week?
Well, today's events go from 3:30 to 5:30, and the workshop is from 4 to about, is that right? From 4 to 5 about.
Yeah, 4 to 5, and then I'll be signing until 5:30.
Yeah. So it's a good time to come out today, and there'll be refreshments today as well. And then tomorrow the big event starts at 10 a.m., goes till 4, and that's with 5 authors and all those activities for kids to get involved and enjoy a bookstore.
Yep, and that's Harper Books and Gifts, 510 West 1st Street in Aberdeen.
Thanks for getting that in.
That was my next question. For those that are unfamiliar with Harper Books and Gifts, again, you could just find it down there. It's the cute little house with the sign on the front. You cannot miss it.
And because I am a grandma, I have to shout out, hi Drake, hi Wolf, hi Jesse, and hi Sally, and hopefully they're listening down in Sacramento.
It's all happening because of Children's Book Week at Harper Books and Gifts. Again, you have a chance to meet April Bullard today, this afternoon from 3:30 to 5:30, and then again tomorrow at the author meet and greet starting at 10 a.m., running till 4, and 5 local authors, Pacific Northwest authors, going to be involved with this all at Harper Book and Gift. Thank you so much, Greg, April, for stopping in today.
Thank you, Kyle.
Appreciate it.